He goes, "Thanks, Mum." I said, "You're welcome." And that's when he said, "I feel so much love, Mum." I was like, oh, okay, words. I need to lock this in my brain. So what you're needing to do through these love languages and through these series is be really watching, the same as with play schemas. Observe, observe, observe. Kia ora, hello. I'm Ruth Verco, a teacher turned mum here on a mission to demystify child's play through understanding play schemas. If you've ever found yourself asking, why is my child doing that? Whether it's throwing their soft toys, hiding stones around the house, or lining up their crayons, then you're in the right place, and certainly not alone. Here, we'll explore the magic of play through the lens of play schemas, those hidden, repeated patterns in your child's behaviour that holds the key to unlocking more meaningful play and connection. Through understanding play schemas, you'll be able to move beyond those one-off activities and understand the why behind your child's play. Join me each week as we dive into playful insights that will help you bring more joy, connection, and understanding into your parenting journey and set the stage for a lifetime of learning. Let's dive on in. Hello and welcome to the Demystifying Child's Play podcast. I'm Ruth Verco, and here we look at how play schemas can bring more joy into our parenting and hopefully a lot less frustration. This is part 1 of a 6-part series on love languages by Gary Chapman, and I have been looking forward to this series. I'm really excited to go through, not just to share with you, but for all my personal learning I've done through it as well. I've known about love languages for a long time and about play schemas, but when I stopped to really put them together, I could not bring them apart again. Knowing how they work together really helped me know, even in the last couple of weeks, how to fill my children's buckets, and I can't wait to share it with you. For me recently, something that really hit home was when my child had a really long day at daycare, I'd had a really long day at work, and he came up to me and said, "My body just needs a cuddle." Now, definitely a heart melt moment, but it was in that crazy part of the day. Got home from daycare, dinner time. I needed to prep and cook and get all the dinner ready. My husband hadn't come home from work yet, and I could have said to him, "Hey, you know it's dinner time," because I know that hungry tummies make for really hard evenings. Or I could have stopped and given him that cuddle. For me, I stopped and gave him that cuddle. I was able to pause what I was doing with the start of the dinner prep, sat down on the couch, gave him a big squishy cuddle. I let go after he let go. And then I said, "Hey, let's do dinner now. Do you want to work with me or do you want to go and do some playing?" For him, he still needed a bit more connection. So I pulled over the kitchen helper, which was like an extra step. I can show you on my Instagram. He did a little bit of cutting with me, and then he went and played on his own. For me, I was able to fill his emotional bucket. It didn't actually take too much time. I know on the flip side, if I'd said, hey, I need to do dinner now, I'll give you a cuddle later. One of two things. Number one, he would have said, "Oh, actually, when I tell Mum what I need, she doesn't always have time for me." And that could be just not a good thing for our relationship and not good for my future relationship with him, wanting him to be able to come with me with his problems and issues in everyday life. But also, the other thing is, he could have just come back and been pestering until I gave him what he wanted. And if you're like me, you've probably had a few dinner times like this where you've been trying to do something and the kids are just under your feet. Maybe their buckets aren't full. Good reminder to me that children express their emotional needs often in simple yet powerful ways. And the way we respond to these cues really shapes their emotional security, our relationship, and how they can talk to us. It didn't take me very long in my education career, as well as my parenting career, to know that love to a child is spelt T-I-M-E, time. A lot of children don't just hear "I love you" or that I care about you or that I'm happy you're here. They need to experience it. So get comfortable, whether you're out on a walk, catching a rare moment of quiet, or multitasking around the house. Let's dive on in. By the end of this episode, you'll have an overview of the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman, and what you'll hopefully be is ready to listen to next week's episode around the first of the 5 love languages. What I'll be showing you is how to love your children using a winning combo, both knowing their play schema or schemas and looking at physical touch for the first week. Then each week I'll go through the next love languages following the chapters in the book. The 5 love languages of children, which I highly recommend you get your hands on. For me, I first loaned the audio book through the library. That's something I try and do with all books now, is I try and loan either the audio or the physical book before I decide to buy it, because I have bought too many duds. But with this one, I quickly decided that I needed my own copy so that I could read in colour. If you're not sure about what reading in colour is, have a look at my Instagram. It's play_schemas. But if you don't like drawing in books or like highlighting in books, maybe don't. I really enjoy it. Now, if you can't get your hands on a copy and if you want to wait for your own till the end of the series, everyone on my mailing list is going to go into the draw to win a copy because I've decided I don't want a barrier. So no matter where in the world you are, as long as you can get post, head over to my website and you can join the email list so you can win. That's playschemas.com and there'll be a button to make it really easy there. Okay, so what are the 5 love languages? For some of you, love languages will be just common language. You'll know about 5 languages. For other people, you'll be thinking, what is this? I've got to learn 5 love languages and 10 play schemas and they go together and this is too much. Don't worry, I'm here to journey with you. Discovering your child's emotional needs is what we're going to be looking through Gary Chapman's 5 love languages book of children. So for him, he's actually written a whole lot of love languages books, some on his own, some co-authored. There's the children's one we're going to be talking about, but there's also couples and singles and teenagers and a whole lot of other ones. The love languages that they cover are the same in all of them. So number 1 is physical touch, which is hugs, cuddles, high fives. Number 2, words of affirmation, praise, encouragement, kind words. Number 3, acts of service. So it could be helping with tasks, making meals, fixing their toys. Number 4 is receiving gifts. So it could be thoughtful surprises or handmade treasures. And number 5 is quality time, focus, interrupted time together. Now, through all of these love languages, they help you discover insights into your child's emotional needs. Each child has their own unique way of receiving love. But something to keep in mind as we go through this series, because quite often we're talking about under 5s or under 7s, is that as toddlers, they need to be shown all 5 love languages as their own love language is still developing. Their core or key love language doesn't typically emerge until around age 5 to 7. Until then, their needs may change, and especially during big life events. So it might be welcoming a new sibling or going off to school. So until they're 5, you probably will see little snippets of all love languages, or they might feel love and receiving love with getting all of them. So have a look and know what they are, but as they get older, you might be able to pinpoint it all. And as you'll hear me saying through this kind of again and again, is as parents, we can often assume that our kids know they're loved just because we say, I love you. But it's the same as with schemas, setting up activities they're not interested in. Love needs to be shown in a way that makes sense to them. And as you travel through this, it's really important that you know what your own love language is. You may give and receive love in different ways, and they'll be the default in how you show your love to your little ones and to your partner. So it might take a bit of effort to show love outside your own love language. For me and my husband, we're both kind of acts of service and quality time. For our son at the moment, he's in a real big gifting stage. Gifts for us is right down the bottom. We're the type of people that, Valentine's Day we've just had, don't care about Valentine's Day and like getting the gifts part of things. For birthdays, I'd rather get something that's really thoughtful another time of the year, like birthday presents, doesn't go here or there for me. But don't worry, if you're like us and you're wondering, what is my child's love language and can I do it and what is mine? What we'll be doing is through the series is we'll be giving actionable steps for each of the love languages, pairing them up with play schemas so you can show love through play. And also what you can do is go to the actual 5 love languages website and do a quiz to find out your own. Through it, there's also a quiz and they're free where you can do for your kids as well. But remember, if they're under 5, it'll be giving you kind of an idea of what they're doing currently, but potentially not pinpointing their primary one. So if you're keen to go have a look there, head to 5lovelanguages.com/quizzes. That's the number 5lovelanguages.com/quizzes, or just click the button at the top of the page and you'll be able to see what your love language is and have a look at your children. And I can't say it enough, and you'll see it through these next few weeks, that play schemas can be such a powerful tool to express love in a way that resonates with your child. It's exactly what I'm all about, meeting kids where they are, showing kids love in a way they can understand, which sets them up for success. So as I said before, if you're setting up an activity that they're just not interested in, they're not going to be keen on it. So for example, if you're setting up a transformation activity where you might have some mud and some rocks and different things that they can mix all together, and you've got a trajectory kid, they're not going to enjoy that. They're just going to want to throw it all. Same if you're saying, I love you, I love you, I love you to a child all the time, and they're not a words kid, they're a connection kid, they like to have physical touch, and you're not sitting next to them, maybe touching their leg, or maybe they're sitting on your lap for reading, they're not going to feel love. So what you're wanting to do is have a look how you can marry them up together. So don't worry, as I said in the episodes coming up, I'm going to break down one of the love languages and then the 10 play schemas that go with it and how you can play and show your kids love at the same time, which is really exciting. And what you'll learn from reading the book and these next few episodes is that they've got an emotional tank. What you need to do is you need to refill these emotional tanks before they get empty, because a full emotional tank is the foundation for growth. Children's emotional tanks drain just like ours do. When they're running on empty, they might be seeking more connection, and it might be when they're getting under your feet. For example, a child who's been cared for by someone else might just need an extra cuddle, some extra words of affirmation, or some quality time to refill their tank. That might be the whole difference between an evening where you're just bashing heads together and not getting along, and a really calm evening when you're really enjoying each other's company. So unconditional love is what we were looking for. Unconditional love means always loving your child while you might still be addressing their behaviour. So I know evenings can be really hard, and it's not saying, I love you when you listen. It's saying, I love you and we need to tidy up together. We're going to be talking about this in the next few weeks. One thing that my child said recently is, Mum, I feel so much love. And it was a reminder for me that when I intentionally meet my child's need, they truly feel it. What had happened, and I'd given him some praise, some words of affirmation for some great playing. He'd been playing with his brother, and I really felt like I needed to call it out and say it. He goes, thanks, Mum. I said, you're welcome. And that's when he said, I feel so much love, Mum. I was like, oh, okay, words. I need to lock this in my brain. So what you're needing to do through these love languages and through these series is be really watching, the same as with play schemas, observe, observe, observe. With their love languages, have a go at the different 5 ones throughout the day, throughout the week, and see which ones they respond to the most. Then you can put a little bit more effort into that. But remember, under 5s especially do need to have all of them. So what you can expect in these series is love in action. So we're breaking down each of the play schemas. Each one's going to focus on a different love language and a different play schema to support through play. I'll give you some real-life practical examples of how to make it easy and doable for all of you as parents. And as I just said, observe, experiment, and then discover what fills your child's emotional tank. What I'd love you to take away from this and throughout is that by knowing your child's love languages, we need to ensure that our love is unconditional, no matter what love language they're working through. But, with a big but, we know that no one is perfect. We all trip up. But as long as you're moving in the right direction, your efforts matter and your efforts will make a difference. We just want them to feel genuinely loved, not just assume they are. Love needs to be expressed in a way that truly connects with them. Okay, and also love is the foundation for child development. Children express emotional needs in so many different ways. It's our job to listen and respond. And play is a powerful tool to do this through, to be able to nurture their love language and nurture them. So reflect on how your child currently shows and receives love. Have a go at going to the 5 Love Languages website and doing the quiz, and subscribe and to tune into the next episode where we'll dive deep into that first love language, which is physical touch. If you want to check out any additional resources on play schemas, head to playschemas.com/free. That's play, schemas.com/free. And don't forget, you can also head to the website, playschemas.com, to sign up for the email list, and you could be in to win the 5 Love Languages book. Now, you're already showing love in so many ways. I know you are. And sometimes it's just making sure that your child can truly feel it by knowing what love language they're working through. So thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Demystifying Child's Play through Play Schemas. And remember, if you think you need a deeper dive, like the cheat sheet, flick me a message on socials, which is at Play Schemas, or through my contact page, playschemas.com. If you want to dive in more, head over to the blog, playschemas.com/01313, because it's episode 13, for the show notes and for the links I've mentioned today. And I would love to hear your playtime stories. Whether you're celebrating a win or trying to crack the mystery behind a new behaviour, I'm here for it. Reach out on social media or drop me a message. And until next time, say it with me, today is a great day to play.